welcome back to the Tea and a Buddy podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Queen's Platinum Jubilee 2022.
Yes.
Yeah, 70 years on the throne.
Yeah.
It's unprecedented. Because no monarch before her has done this.
None?
Yeah, none.
Not even Queen Victoria?
Victoria, she surpassed Victoria's reign.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
in
that
2015.
was a couple years ago, wasn't it?
In 2015, yeah.
2015?
Yeah.
So several years ago.
She's done 70 years on the throne now, Elizabeth II. And Queen Victoria was like 63 years or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, on 6th February this year, she became the first one to celebrate a Platinum Jubilee. So, well done, Her Majesty.
She, lately has been pulling out of a lot of things, though. And
she's 96.
Yeah, I know. But it's a little bit like,
Well, uh-oh.
Not uh-oh, but uh-oh at the same time.
Because they're all like, Charles had to do her speech at the opening of Parliament.
Yeah.
So everybody was like, oh, she's not. But she's apparently back up and around and doing stuff. She was seen down the pub.
She did.
The other week.
She didn't do Easter, was it? With
Easter,
the family?
Yeah, no, I think that was due to COVID or something, that was.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, I thought she pulled out of that because
I
people
think
COVID
she was
stuff and all that,
I don't think so.
She's
she has had...
ducking out of it,
She has had COVID, I think. But,
yeah, Charles and Camilla have too, I think.
But I think that was a while ago.
Yeah. So it looks like the whole, because for like 4 days in June, they'll be celebrating it.
Yeah.
The Jubilee.
At the beginning of June, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
it's coming out very soon.
From the 2nd through to the 5th, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 4 days of celebrations, include public events and community activities, as well as national moments of reflection on the Queen's 70 years of service. And I don't think, I remember the Golden Jubilee in 2002.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember the bakeries doing stuff, and there was like
bakeries.
Yeah, they
bakeries. It was a big day for the bakeries.
Well, they baked like Jubilee stuff, stuff with like the Queen's head on and and cakes with like the British flag.
Yeah.
And all that, but it was like it wasn't really, because apparently my gran used to say, the 1977 Silver Jubilee.
Yeah.
That was the big one. Everyone was out in the street having parties and stuff like that. It was a much bigger thing. But by the Golden Jubilee, no one was bothered anymore.
I think that as time has gone on,
they try to encourage it, but
the appeal of the royal family has just gotten less and less and less.
Yeah, it has. Public opinion has shifted.
People like the Queen. People love the Queen.
Yeah.
But I think just as far as like being a royalist, and
I think the all-time public opinion on the royal family hit a low in the early 90s.
Yeah. Because
they were all getting divorced. All the kids were getting divorced.
Mm-hmm. And
she even called 1992 her Annus Horribilis,
Yeah.
And so that was when like republicanism, as they call it, was at an all-time high, and there were like calls like, should we have a referendum? Should we vote to get them out?
Yeah.
But it never came to that, because I think there's still enough support for her,
And we've talked about it on here before, but I just cannot see it ever happening because there's such a tourist attraction and there's such like the British royal family,
Yeah.
And there's such like a tradition and just a draw for people around the world, like a fascination.
Yeah, that's their job now. And the thing, that's what they say, it'll be too much. I think it was some leading government minister years ago said it would be too much effort to get rid of them, Yeah. It would cost the public too much money to actually get rid of them because we'd have to find something for them to do. And, because people think like, oh yeah, we'll just get rid of them and they'll stop being kings and queens and princes and whatever. and they can just go and get jobs like the rest of us. But it's like, yeah, it's not that simple.
Yeah.
Because someone, all those palaces are going to be, what are they going to do then? You're going to let corporations come in and crew them up, which is what would happen,
Prince William can, drive an Uber or something.
Yeah, I can see that happening, yeah. And I mean, speaking of that, we're going to talk a little bit about, who's going to be there, because they're going to have like a flyover and everything like that.
Yeah.
And, they're all going to be on the balcony of Buckingham Palace, waving and stuff. And that's been the big buzz because apparently Harry and Meghan, Haz and Megs, are coming back for the Jubilee.
Yeah.
They're going to be, they're going to find them a role, to do, even though they're not royals anymore.
I think, did we mention this in the podcast already? That they're not going to be allowed on the balcony.
They're not going to be allowed on the balcony. At first they thought they were going to allow them, and then there was like a U-turn, and then all the gossip machine started. It was like, it was William and Kate.
Yeah.
Who managed to get that pushed through, or maybe it was Charles.
I'm sure I saw a lot of British people saying they shouldn't be allowed on the balcony.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of British people saying, well, no, they abandoned the family, didn't they? They're not royal anymore, so they shouldn't be allowed on the balcony. Shouldn't be allowed anywhere near it. Apparently, Meghan was upset about this. And everybody's just like, of course she's just coming back. Of course
she would be, yeah.
She's just coming back to get on the balcony, and get her mates on the balcony and having a good time, It's on the balcony, like, hey, party, But no, I don't think that I mean, they're not going to be allowed on there because it's just like and Andrew isn't going to be there either, I don't think. Andrew's not allowed on there.
Well, no.
Maybe, I think maybe he tried to wrangle his way in because, he was at the Duke of Edinburgh Memorial.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, what's he doing? Helping her around and all that. And apparently Charles was furious about this.
But I think apparently it was her who wanted him.
Yeah, Andrew's been the favourite.
So it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, she's bailed him out.
According to The Crown, anyway, if you've seen The Crown, then they make it like Andrew's her favourite child.
Yeah.
And Anne was Prince Philip's favourite child, and Charles is no one's favourite.
Charles, the heir to the throne, is nobody's favourite. But no, it's a case of like, Andrew, the whole scandal involving him and Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
He's not going to be on there.
Let's face it, that's a heck of a lot worse than anything Harry and Meghan have done, no matter how much you may dislike them.
Yeah, Harry and Meghan just buggered off, really, and that was it. They're just kind of, because they love to call them grifters and stuff like that now, they're coming back. They want to get out of the family, but they want the benefits of, being associated with them. They want the money.
I love British people, just like, can you imagine, like Harry and Meghan, grifters, like this is a couple of con men.
It's like, well, that's what they call all these like YouTubers and influencers and stuff. They're all grifters. They're all on the grift.
You just see them on the
all on a grift, don't I?
On a street corner with their copper mugs.
They'll be on the corner,
and their little flat caps and their sunglasses, like they're blind, and it's like, oh.
That's what's gonna happen when the rest of them are on the balcony.
Aren't you Harry? Aren't you Prince Harry?
Everybody will be lining Birdcage Walk and the mall and everything like that, and they'll be leading the like pageant down there, with their freaking cup and all that, cups and like, okay, yeah, donate to the cause, yeah, because apparently Netflix has pulled most of their stuff.
I don't know.
There was going to be some show that Meghan was producing or starring in about a girl that was fantastic or something. I can't remember what I can't remember what it was.
Entitled "Fabulous Me,"
Fabulous Meghan.
The Meghan Markle story.
It was some kind of like some kind of rags to riches type story.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was
a documentary.
It wasn't a documentary. It was like a scripted show.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, people can back me up on this.
No, I think it was a
It was a scripted show, I think. And
it was nothing
Netflix
to do...
were like, oh no, we got to pull...
It was nothing to do with them,
haven't got the money.
It's just that,
bleeding subscribers here.
Yeah, apparently everybody's canceling their subscriptions.
So they can't
Netflix.
afford it, you know?
And so, yeah, they dropped a bunch of content and you know, one of them happened to be her.
I'm sure it was like maybe an animation feature or something. Yeah.
But I thought it was a documentary. But yeah, no, that does sound familiar as well.
It was some animation feature from like a rags to riches type story, you know, and she was going to narrate it or something, or voice the girl in it.
I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I think that they would feel more comfortable being like among the celebrities in attendance at this Jubilee than they would be on the balcony. Like, how uncomfortable would that be after everything?
Because let's look at the evidence here. Let's just look at the big picture here. You know, you're famous for being a part of that family.
Yeah. And
you're not with that family on the balcony. You're with the celebrities who are famous for what they do. And they go, well, what do you do? Do you feel like you should be up there, Harry? Oh, I don't know, you know. I don't think so.
Yeah, well, I mean, they rejected the family, didn't they?
I could have gone up there, but I
didn't want to.
I didn't want to. Thought it for the best, you know.
They've been pretty quiet
Get
over
dizzy
here,
and all that, you know.
I'll say they've been pretty quiet over
well,
here.
I mean...
They've been lying low.
I mean, a terrible tragedy happened in Uvalde, Texas, this couple of days ago.
Yeah.
A school shooting.
Yeah.
Where 19 children died, and I think it was 19 children and 2 adults, yeah. And Meghan Markle apparently came to Uvalde.
Did she really?
To the memorial, yeah.
Did she?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, she turned up at the memorial. I thought it was a memorial in California when I saw the story, but apparently it was her. She flew to Uvalde. Wow. And then people like her for that now. You know, people are like, oh, well, that was good of her to do that, you know.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, she's the first high-profile person, I mean, that's not in government anyway, not the governor or Ted Cruz or anyone like that.
Yeah.
That's come, you know.
Yeah.
So people respect her for that.
Wow,
you know,
I had not heard that.
So, yeah, I mean, you know, you can't fault her for that.
No, definitely not.
But, yeah, the whole Jubilee thing, they're not going to be allowed on the balcony. That's fine, because they're not they technically don't want to be members of the family anymore, which is, you know, I mean, he's always going, oh, yeah, I'm always talking to my gran. Which is the queen, you know.
Yeah.
We're talking to the the boss, as he likes to call her, you know.
We FaceTime her or
whatever. We FaceTime her, you know, that she sees the grandkids and all that, you know, it's fine, you know.
Yeah.
But I think he's estranged from Charles.
Because have they been back over there since they've had the other kid?
I don't know. Maybe. I think they came... The last time they were over... No, they came for, like, the memorial, I think, of the Duke of Edinburgh. I think they turned up for that.
Harry did. It was just Harry.
Oh, it was just Harry.
Yeah, she was still pregnant.
Yeah, because before that, there was a Diana memorial.
Wasn't
which
there?
Him and William...
I think it was just him who came.
Yeah.
No, I think that was after that.
No,
that was after the...
She understandably doesn't want to come back to the UK because... public opinion has swayed against her now.
Didn't William and Kate come over here after the baby was born? I'm kind of suddenly thinking that, or am I just making that up? They did some tour of
America. There was something about Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London. They invited him to their mansion because he did some kind of vanity tour of the USA.
Oh, yeah.
Sadiq Khan, you know, because it's just like, oh, yeah, you know, like promoting London or promoting whatever.
Yeah.
As if London needs promoting.
It's the only place in Britain Americans know of.
It's like, oh, yeah, as a mayor of London, yes, let me do it. You know, and people were like, oh, yeah, he spent a lot of money on this trip and whatever. But he's friends with William and Kate, obviously.
Yeah.
Sadiq Khan.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Harry and Meghan invited him to their house.
Okay.
And he said, nah.
Did he?
I'm not going to do it. And he didn't, and it was kind of like going back and forth a bit, apparently, and then he finally said, nah.
When was this?
Well, this was recently.
This is very
so
juicy.
So he snubbed them, and everybody's like, yeah, he doesn't want to get caught in the crossfire, if there's anything. If he doesn't want to turn up at Harry and Meghan's house and listening to them go on about William or whatever, and then come back,
Yeah.
and say, oh, because people like, oh, yeah, the only reason they invited him to the house is to try and get in the back door, so to speak.
Yeah.
Have a word with Boris.
Yeah.
And, get the government, because the government effectively control the royal family.
Well, yeah.
And they can pressure them into doing stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Have
Oh,
a word with
it'll
Boris.
look a lot better if
Yeah.
you let them, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on. I mean...
It's like you mentioned Uvalde, and now I'm just like, none of this.
Everybody's thinking.
This is all nonsense, isn't it?
Yeah, yes.
It's just like, this is all absolute, just nonsense. I mean, it is juicy when you mention things like that, and you kind of get like,
and people are like, all like,
ultimately
the
none of
Johnny
it
Depp
matters.
Amber Heard trial is just gossip.
Yeah,
it's like
yes.
It doesn't matter what the outcome is on that, really.
Not to anyone but them,
Yeah, exactly. And, this whole thing of, like, Harry and Meghan inviting Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, to their house, everybody's thinking, oh, they're trying to, like, get in the back door. They're trying to, like, oh, we've got government approval to come here and stand on the balcony, and you have to suck it up.
Yeah.
Like it or lump it, Charles and William. But apparently William and Kate have tried to, like, there's some sort of, like, civil war between them. And everybody thought, oh yeah, that started when they started separating their press.
Yeah.
Because usually they were joint,
Yeah.
But then they separated it, and they,
Well, according to Meghan, maybe it started with the wedding,
Apparently Kate was, I just read this news article, she wore something to some event, I guess it was like the Queen's Garden Party or something.
Mm-hmm.
And she wore something to Harry and Meghan's wedding, which was like a nod to them.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of like, they're trying to like make it look like they're trying to like build foundations. And, when the party at the palace happens, which is on the 4th of June, I think, it's on the Saturday, there's going to be people there, like entertainment and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, who did you see and you thought it was gonna be like all old people, all old acts that don't exist anymore?
There was something, I mean, I don't think the actual thing has been announced yet. I mean,
the lineup,
I don't think it's been announced.
Didn't Paul play?
He played the Golden Jubilee,
yeah. When we say Paul, we mean Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Dominic and I are on first term basis with him.
I saw this whole thing of like, oh yeah, the party at the palace, and there was like the Cheeky Girls and N-Dubs, and I was looking at it, and it looked kind of legit, like, oh, this is the lineup, and
surely not.
And I was like, the Cheeky Girls, and I was like, okay, the N-Dubs, and then it got down to the cast of Hello Hello, and I was like, oh, come on now. This has got to be a joke. And it was like, and Morrissey, the end was and Morrissey, and it's just kind of like people who, and someone goes, no, this is real. She's having an act from every year since her reign, of her reign,
Yeah. But it's like most of the cast of Hello Hello are dead.
Most of the cast of Hello Hello are dead. And they did appear, they've appeared at like Royal Variety performances and stuff like that in like 30 years ago. And it's just like N-Dubs. The Cheeky Girls were 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
And
I say I have no idea who the
Cheeky
I mean,
most of these people were like, like, oh, I can't remember any of it. It was like some kind of like, it's fake, obviously. But it looked really like, legit, to like a glance, because I kept seeing people retweet it.
Yeah.
And some people obviously believed it, going, what? People were like, oh, what? Why are they having the Cheeky Girls? and N-Dub's on, and it's like all these people I've never heard of, and
Yeah.
the cast of Allo Allo. Yeah, it's just like Allo Allo was a sitcom in the 80s.
Yeah.
Which apparently the royal family really
set during
enjoyed.
the war.
It was set during the war, yeah.
Yeah.
It's in a couple of weeks, but I don't know
if
they must have released the full
Yeah.
who's going to appear, but I'm not sure.
Shall I look it up while we're talking?
Yes, look it up.
Okay, yeah.
And find out who exactly is playing.
I know there was mention of Tom Cruise, wasn't there, at some point? That he was going to host it or something.
Was it
Which
Tom
was a bit
Cruise?
random.
Yeah, because he's in the UK promoting Top Gun. The Top Gun sequel. In case people are like, Top Gun? That was like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And apparently the premiere had Will and Kate at it, and he escorted Kate up the aisle or whatever, up the red carpet or whatever.
Oh,
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, he's gonna, do something.
Yeah.
Because the party at the palace, on Saturday, 4th of June, before that, there will be like, the beacons will be lit. And I remember them from the Golden Jubilee.
Is that like the Olympic torch or
kind
something?
of, yeah. It's like a long tradition of celebrating royal jubilees, weddings, and coronations with the lighting of beacons will continue for the Platinum Jubilee. A beacon chain once used as a tool for communication has now become a symbol of unity across towns, borders, countries, and continents, and is often the central point of focus for any outdoor gathering or celebration. In 1897, beacons were lit to celebrate Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee. In 1977, 2002, and 2012. Oh, yeah, because she had the Diamond Jubilee in 2012. Yeah, I mean, I was over here then. But the golden one is what I remember being in the UK for. And they lit beacons, and they were just like in towns and stuff. And they do them in the Commonwealth capital cities.
Oh, yeah.
They just light them to kind of like,
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I found... So Sir Elton John and Sir Rod Stewart are among the performers, as are Diana Ross and Queen with Adam Lambert.
Oh. The Queen with Freddie Mercury would be a better choice.
This is going to be the party at the palace.
Yeah. That'll be covered on Kirsty Young and Roman Kemp will lead live coverage of the Platinum Party and air live on BBC One, BBC iPlayer, and across the BBC network.
Jax Jones Mabel?
Who's that?
I don't know. Jax Jones.
Jax Jones?
Or Jack Jones.
Stephalon Don Elbow.
George Ezra. Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber, yeah.
Lin-Manuel Miranda. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah. Sir Elton John, obviously, yeah.
Yeah. Duran.
Sam Ryder, Sir Rod Stewart.
Andrea Bocelli. Alicia Keys. Mika Paris. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Mika Paris?
I don't know some of these people. Who's Mika Paris? Micah Paris.
Mika Paris is freaking from 30 years ago.
Is it?
Yeah, she had a hit with "You Are My One Temptation." Ooh, you are the one whom I'm addicted to. It was like a big hit.
No.
I mean, she's a soul singer,
Elbow, Mimi Webb, Diversity.
I've heard
Nile
of them.
Rodgers. I've heard of Nile Rodgers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is he from One Direction? Or is that
no, that's Niall Horan.
Okay.
He's from One Direction.
Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer, he's a composer.
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer, Celeste.
Sam Ryder. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Mika Paris.
Yeah. Yeah, so interesting. I don't know, I kind of like that Rod Stewart's going to be there, actually. I've been
Elton
thinking
John.
lately that I need to go see him in concert if he ever comes around. I don't know why. That's just a little FYI for you there. Yeah.
22,000 people will attend the event, including 10,000 allocated in a public ballot and 5,000 tickets for key workers.
The Royal Ballet is also slated to appear at the event. There are just 10,000 tickets available for the celebration.
Yeah.
But it's going to be televised, I assume. I don't know. Will they show it over here?
I mean, I don't know if they'll show it like the BBC will show it.
You know what? This is going to be really rude and ugly, but it's not a very impressive lineup for a Platinum Jubilee, is it?
I mean, no. I mean, I think the Golden Jubilee was better because they had Paul playing.
Paul
Brian
McCartney.
May was playing on...
I mean, Elton John's good too, but...
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what... Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else they've got planned either. You know, there might be special episodes to commemorate something.
Because we watched the Golden one on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah, and she came out and she played a bit of guitar, didn't she?
They come out and they sit on like the
side.
the side of the stage, and she had her little purse and everything. And I think
Charles gets up and says, "Oh yes, you know.
Oh yes, mother." And
yes, mother. You know, here we are, another Jubilee.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just wondering because apparently some of the reasons for her canceling some of the things that she's done lately, they're citing mobility issues.
Yes.
So it's just like, how, you know, are they going to bring her out on a wheelchair if they have to, you know?
I'd imagine what they'll do is, if she can't walk, they'll have her in a golf buggy.
Wasn't Queen Victoria eventually in a wheelchair too?
She was. She was. Yes, she was. But I mean, that was late 1800s, early 1901. You know.
Well, yeah, but still, it's like they're in their 90s. It's like, are you going to make them walk and have to climb steps onto up a stage? And you know, like I just don't know how this is going to work.
No, they'll probably have her on like some sort of golf buggy.
Yeah.
Or, you know, just to kind of like, because I don't think she'll want to be seen.
Or maybe they'll carry her in like on their shoulders, like she'll be on like Cleopatra or something like that, you know. And all
there's
all
gonna
these
be
topless men will be carrying her, feeding her grapes as they walk, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because I mean, at the end of the concert. Oh, I think Paul performed at the 2012 one too, because I remember him having the Union Jack bass.
What was the 2012 one?
Diamond
Jubilee.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, well that must have been the Diamond Jubilee.
He's not going to bother with the. He might turn up because I mean I think he's on tour right now, but I don't know if he's like, you know.
I mean, will they have surprise guests?
I think they'll have a surprise. Yeah.
You know, it's like. I don't know. And they did fireworks, like a firework display.
There's a special ceremony at Buckingham Palace for the last beacon to be lit there. It's like that's going to be the biggest one. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there'll be like an impressive setting and the stage for where the acts are. Mm. And, you know, they've released artist visuals and stuff like that of what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's going to be some surprises, I think, because they'll have... The next day will be the big Jubilee lunch. Yeah. Which is supposed to be when the street parties happen, but we'll see if it does, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, over 60,000 people have registered to host the big Jubilee lunches on the Platinum Celebration weekend, with events ranging from world record attempts for the longest street party to back garden barbecues and everything in between. Over 10 million people from across the UK are expected to be joining the celebrations to share friendship, food and fun at Big Jubilee lunches as part of this nationwide act. This is all from royal.co.uk.
I think this is where like the British cynicism comes in. Like, you guys just don't take the opportunity to have a party quite as much as we do in America.
I think
if it was something like this,
they're all hungover from the last one. It's like, I can't face it. Just get me a curry. I'll be all right. People across the world are also joining in.
Oh, okay, there we go.
With over 600 international Big Jubilee lunches being planned throughout the Commonwealth and beyond, from Canada to Brazil, New Zealand to Japan, and South Africa to Switzerland. And there's a website set up, and they're still accepting orders for free packs to get the street party started, or for people to find out where a public event in their area may be taking place. And then there's the Platinum Jubilee pageant, which is the gold state carriage led by the Sovereign's escort, will lead the Platinum Jubilee pageant, embracing the latest in digital technology to evoke the excitement and majesty of her journey to be crowned 70 years ago.
Aww.
So they're going to have like a hologram, or, they're going to like make it look like, they're going to recreate the route. She's not going to be in it. She's not going to be in the carriage, but,
They're going to have a hologram, like a hologram of her
well,
when she was young.
I imagine that something kind of like that will probably happen. They're going to have the hologram, because they filmed all that years ago.
They should have hired you to organize this.
Hologram.
You'd be like, we'll have the Beatles, and we'll have...
And while the Queen won't personally travel in the Regal Gold State carriage, there will be a fabulous surprise. So I'm guessing that's what the surprise
Harry and Meghan.
Harry and Meghan burst out and go like, we're here, whoa, with the freaking microphones.
We're gonna ride in the gold carriage, yeah!
Are you ready?
Oh
we
my
didn't get
God.
on the balcony, but are you ready for some Haz and Megs fun?
There'll be...
Sign up at Archwell Foundation.
Oh my gosh.
Donate. And it'll serve as an opportunity to gather and pay tribute to Her Majesty. Culminate with the singing of the national anthem, God Save the Queen, and a gospel choir to the sounds of the band of Her Majesty's Royal Marines. And
I would make a joke.
Bring to life iconic moments from the Queen's reign, as well as showcasing our changing society over the past 70 years.
That's cool. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to watch, I think. I'm assuming it'll be televised somewhere over here.
It'll be kind of like, it's kind of like the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yeah.
Because there'll be people like from music, film, sport, and the arts will take part in the pageant. Including much-loved celebrity names alongside military personnel, key workers, and volunteers.
I'm getting a little bit of 2012 London Olympics vibes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's what it will probably be like.
Yeah. So she's going to be parachuting out of a...
Parachuting out of the plane.
James Bond again.
Although there is no James Bond now, so...
Oh no! Spoiler alert! Yeah. Spoiler alert! You didn't hear anything. We didn't say anything.
No, Daniel Craig left the role, didn't he?
No, yeah, it's true. I would say, something about we'll have our own celebration over here on July 4th, but apparently not that many Americans really realize why we celebrate July 4th.
Oh, you haven't told them.
So that may or may not, be a joke that falls anywhere. Anyway,
I imagine there'll be plenty of. I imagine it'll be covered in some form.
We televised the royal wedding, so you would think that we would
there'll be some kind of.
It's quite a historical event. I mean, really, because she's 96. 96. Okay.
96.
So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big deal. I mean, there are, like we've said before on this podcast, there are royal families in other countries.
Yeah, there's one in Spain.
But you can't name any members of any of them.
Yeah, no, you can't. Can you?
You can't, no.
And there's an Italian royal family, too.
And yeah, I can tell you all of William and Kate's kids' names, I mean, I don't know how many. Yes. I don't know how many people in this country can do that.
I mean, when people talk about the Queen over here, they're not talking about the Queen of Spain.
Yeah. If you say the Queen, everybody just thinks Queen of England, know? Is there a Queen of Spain?
Yeah.
Is there?
Actually, it might be the King of Spain, and I think she's just the Queen Consort or whatever.
Denmark still has a royal family.
Denmark still has one. I think Sweden does, too. I'm not sure. Italy does, but of course, they are so... It's like you wouldn't know.
And are any of them going to participate? Because they're all related, aren't they?
They're all related. Yeah, they'll be coming over. I'm sure representatives and all that will be there.
Yeah, that would be...
there's the Queen of Spain.
Yeah, I mean,
right
so
now.
They'll have to televise it over here, surely. Remember the days of TV Guide? If only we had a TV Guide, we would know what was
TV
if
Guide
it was going to be televised.
Yeah, TV
over
Guide.
Here. We could flip ahead to the date and see.
Yeah, those days are gone now. It's all digital. It's all subject to change.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Is there anything else to mention?
I think we've covered everything.
Yeah.
We talked about Harry and Meghan for our people who wanted us to talk about Harry and Meghan. I mean,
are there going to be any COVID restrictions, do you know?
I don't know.
COVID's not a thing in
the cases are declining, apparently. But, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Monkeypox is on the rise now. That's the new...
What?
Yeah.
Oh, get out.
Monkeypox is the new scare. But anyway.
Monkeypox is the new black. Thank you guys so much, as always, for tuning in. We appreciate your support. Be sure to follow us on social media. I'm not sure if we'll have wrapped up our chocolate.
The chocolate
competition. Yeah, it'll be wrapped up at this
point. It's all about the chocolate.
So, yeah, me mentioning that is kind of like a moot point at this point.
It's redundant now, mate.
If you had been following us on social media, you could have very easily participated in our big chocolate
World Cup
competition. Yeah,
the World Cup of chocolate.
Ultimate chocolate bar competition.
Yeah, ultimate. Yeah,
I don't know
ultimate chocolate bar of all time.
Anyway, we are at TButty, TEABUTTY on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And we'll talk to you next time.
We will talk to you next time. Goodbye everybody.